Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scribo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is Friday, July 22nd, and the moon is in Taurus. The Taurus moon is very active today. Makes a conjunction to the north node of the moon. It makes a conjunction to Uranus. It squares Saturn. What's happening is that the moon is activating its own node by interacting with the planets that have exact aspects to the node. And so it's a prelude. There's a prelude energy. Now, come the end of this month, on the 31st, into the 1st, we have a conjunction between Uranus and the North Node, and Mars and the North Node, and Uranus and Mars. And all occurring right around like the 19th degree, I think it is, the 18th and the 19th degree of Taurus. And so there is a time of big change on the horizon. Today we also have the sun moving into the sign of Leo. So we are in the dog days of summer. We are in the Lion's Gate portal. And let me tell you, here where it's been relatively that is mild, we had a cold spring, and June was lovely, and the beginning of July was tolerable, but now we are in the thick of it. And when I say thick, I mean the air is thick, with heat and humidity. And I know we're not alone, so I'm not here to complain, because there are many of you who have, quite frankly, a little bit more to complain about than I do, where you live in places that are both hot and arid, but it's like walking out into bath water in the morning, and it's sometimes hard to breathe. But it is a time where there is an intensity and a pressure. In this case, it's air pressure. We are in a drought right now, and you're only allowed to sort of use a sprinkler on the days that corresponds with the number on your house. So we're in an even day, so we can do this. But I only do this on the garden. I don't bother with the lawn, actually. Oh, I'm getting wet. But a lot of these plants are really thirsty, so I'll be doing that. And I know the birds usually love it. Usually the hummingbirds run through the sprinkler. So it is quite intense. We're in intense times. It's an intense moment. Last night we had the 8th January 6th hearing number 8. And they talked to two people that worked for Trump for most of his time in office. And, light shines on Marblehead. They realized that the guy was a criminal, and they're like, I'm out of here, right? Right. I find it interesting. As I was watching it last night and trying to stay cool, which is not easy, but I managed. Plus, sit still for that amount of time was difficult. Oh no, the sun's coming up over the trees. It's gonna get hotter. Sorry, I had a moment. None of it really surprised me. None of it seemed very shocking. I still think Cassidy Hutchinson's willingness to speak was probably the watershed for this. And perhaps there are many people who were surprised by what came out and were, sort of like, oh my God, you're kidding me. But I wasn't one of them. And I don't know if it's because I kind of knew what we were dealing with from the get-go. And I knew that this man would do anything in his power or in his imagined power to get what he wanted. And I think we have to stop giving this man what he wants. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Who knows? I'd like to think that this is going to be tied up in a nice bow, but we'll see. We'll see. So we have more of these lilies here. These are so pretty. And then these lilies smell really nice. My husband loves smelling these lilies, and I'll know he did it because he'll come back with an orange nose. He'll have like orange stuff all over his nose because he stuck his nose in the middle of the flower where all the pollen is. So the garden is doing well. I don't know if you can see it. Things are growing here, and the other garden is still getting built. I guess I'll show you because I know you guys are probably interested. Michael had been working on this garden. We've both been working on this garden for days and days in the really, really hot heat. And I can only do what I can do because I know I'm just not a hot weather person. He, on the other hand, doesn't mind the hot weather and usually is pretty tolerant of heat and humidity. He used to live in Florida for a while. When I first met him, he's like, I want to live in Florida. I'm like, well, you can live there by yourself because it's too hot. But I'll come and visit you in the winter. That's what I would say to him. But, now with the political situation, I have a lot of family and friends in Florida. So it's kind of sad. I don't really want to go and visit. It's not them. Anyway, you can see back there, he's put some more bamboo up. The yard is still kind of a mess, but, I don't want to push him. Because yesterday he had no energy. I think he pushed himself too hard in the sun. And he's no spring chicken. Although he's not an old man. We like to think anyway. Whoops, that's me tripping over a branch. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. Whew. Oh boy. Just climbing up that hill. It's so hot and humid. You don't really have much air, and this was all overgrown, trees sprouting up. We cut them all down. He used the trees to keep the fabric down so that the critters don't try to come up under. And but yeah, I helped him with this, cutting down trees. That was fun. Actually, that was fun. I don't like to cut any trees down, but these were blocking the sun, and this is where the leaching field is. And you're not supposed to have trees on your leaching field because I think it messes things up. And there's the plants that are waiting to be planted. We even actually have a pumpkin hanging. One of these actually has a pumpkin already. I don't know where it is. And I pulled a few peppers off of this. These are all peppers. So that's neat. But no point in putting them in the ground until they can be protected from the deer. And this is the elderberry right there. I'm excited about that. All right, guys. So that's what's happening. Sun in Leo. Things are going to get hot. Astrologically, things are going to get hot. Stay safe, everyone. Don't push yourself. It's the summer. It's time to sort of lounge around, sit back, read a book. I'm reading a good book called the Something of Longings. The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd, I think her name is, or Kid Monk. Sue Kidd Monk. She wrote The Secret Life of Bees. This is the story of Anna, the wife of Jesus. Sort of a retelling of the Jesus story, with an eye towards women's spirituality, which I always find wonderful. One of my favorite books of all time was The Mist of Avalon, which is a retelling of the Arthurian legends through the women. Changed my life was the book that really changed my life. And it was a novel, so you never know what kind of book is going to change your life. Here we have some of these. You don't really get to see these because they're on the other side of the garden, but they're awful pretty. And of course I have to weed like crazy, but been too busy helping Michael try to get a garden together instead of weeding the garden I have. But we'll see. We'll see if it happens. If it continues to be this hot, it's just going to be a wild, crazy ass garden, as far as I can tell. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. I'll be doing my moon shadows with Ona this coming week, I think. We have to decide. Maybe on the weekend, we'll have to see. We're both relatively busy right now, so we'll have to see what we can manage. That new moon in Leo coming up on the 28th, so I'm excited for that one. All right, guys, take care. I'm going to go move the sprinklers. I love you. Thanks for walking through the garden with me. This is one of those days, well, the flowers smell good, but maybe it's best we don't have smell-o-vision. It's a little sweaty here. All right, guys, take care. I love you. Namaste.